Hi, and welcome to Fantasy Corner. I'm John Wolf, and this is my co-host Casey Groff. We're here with our Week 4 waiver wire pickups of the week. Last week, the NFL had some upsetting games, poor performances, some injuries, but that's okay because we're here to diagnose all those for you and make sure your rosters are set with the right pickups. Let's get started. At the quarterback position this week, our pickup is Blake Bortles from the Jacksonville Jaguars. With Chad Henne struggling as the Jags starter, Blake Bortles was inserted after being down 30-0 in halftime. He led his team to 2 touchdowns and over 200 yards passing in only one half of play. Yes, he's a rookie, and yes, he did have 2 picks, but we think he's a good pickup for at least this week, especially since he was named the starter for Week 4. So, if you're really struggling at the quarterback position, he might not be a bad hold or start this week for the weeks following, depending on his performance.
As far as running backs go, I have Donald Brown of the San Diego Chargers. An odd choice, yes, but I think he's going to see a lot of touches moving forward. And as we all know that Danny Woodhead is out for the rest of the season, and Ryan Matthews is out for at least 2 to 4 more weeks with his injury. He had 31 carries last week for 62 yards. It's not a good average at all, but you can't argue with that kind of volume. At least you know he's going to be force-fed carries, and we hope he gets plenty this week and in the next few weeks moving forward.
For the wide receiver position, Fantasy Corner analyst Kevin Posh has Brian Quick from the St. Louis Rams on his pickup list. Yes, he has a bye week this week, but he is the clear-cut number 1 receiver for the Rams. So if you can afford to drop an underperforming or injured wide receiver, pick him up and do so quickly. He has put up over 60 yards in every game so far this season. Not great numbers, but we do think he has great potential and there's definitely upside in the future. There are not many wide receivers in St. Louis worth mentioning this year, and he should be available on the wire.
For tight ends, I've got Travis Kelce of the Kansas City Chiefs. Fantasy analyst Kevin Posh has Owen Daniels from the Baltimore Ravens due to Dennis Pitta suffering a season-ending injury. I actually drafted Kelce in one of my leagues, so I'm sticking with him. His snap count has increased drastically from his first 2 games and was able to put up 3 catches, 3 yards, and a touchdown last week on only 4 targets. He did all of this while only playing 65% of the snaps taken by Kansas City. I can only imagine the Chiefs utilizing this rookie talent the further on we go into this season, so pick him up while you can, especially if you're without a tight end.
Let's move on to kickers and defense. I've chosen my favorite kicker this week in Sean Sweetson of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Why is he my favorite kicker? Let's just say Sean Sweetson could kick the Steelers to the AFC Championship game if he wanted to. But really, Sean's stats speak for themselves. He has made 23 field goals in a row, which beat the team record last week against Carolina. So if the Steelers do get in field goal position, expect him to get those points. 3 field goals last week, and I'm hoping he continues that kind of production next week.
Last but not least, I've got the Pittsburgh Steelers defense this week. They are playing Tampa Bay. I don't think I need to say much more, but yes, they are playing an inefficient Tampa Bay offense that got manhandled by Atlanta last week. Also, the Steelers are coming off of a blowout win against Carolina, in which they held the Panthers to 19 points, sacked Cam Newton 3 times, forced 2 fumbles, and scored a touchdown on special teams. With the return of James Harrison, you can't go wrong with the signing of this 5-time Pro Bowler back onto this Steelers squad.
That's our show for this week. Make sure to tune in next week to catch Week 5 waiver wire pickups of the week. Remember, you can find us on Facebook if you search Fantasy Corner, as well as Twitter at NFL_FFC. This is Fantasy Corner, and thanks for watching.